Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages, welcome back to the fourth episode of the Sporting Updates podcast. I'm your host, as always, Sam Fonseca, at Sam Fonseca with two A's on Twitter, and I am joined today, as always, by my very good friend, Steph. How are you doing, Steph?
I'm doing pretty good after today's win. Even feeling better.
That's great. It's good to hear. If you want to follow Steph on Twitter, it's at StephTexeter1. So make sure you follow us both on Twitter. Also, don't forget to follow at SCP Updates on Twitter. Also, subscribe to us on YouTube, Soundcloud, and iTunes. Episodes are going up there once we've finished. So you never miss an episode from us. And on Twitter as well, we'll tweet it when it goes live on SoundCloud. So if you don't want to miss that out as well, just follow us on Twitter. Before we get into today's game against Tondela, let's get to the questions from the Twitter universe. If you want to ask us questions, just don't forget to tweet us. When we post an article, a tweet saying we're about to do the podcast, just send in the questions. You don't have to use the hashtag if you don't want to, but if you do, that's even better. So the first question I'm going to give to you today, Steph, is both from Bruno, who was on the show last week, at Bruno SKO23, and Zay Pereira at Pereira4785. They ask, do we go all out against Barcelona, or do we rest players for Porto for the following game?
Okay, so the good thing is both games they will be at home, so we don't have to travel. So JJ Jorge Jesus could manage. I would say go all out against Barcelona. That's the game that the players, just because it's Barcelona, they'll be motivated. And then the game against Porto, it's equally the same thing. The players, even if you ask Gelson Martins if he's hurt, if he feels like a small pain on his left leg or right leg or whatever, he's going to say, I want to play. Because he understands the impact of the game and the stage at that level. So both games will have to be all out. The coaching staff, the only thing they'll have to do is manage properly. They'll have to ask the players, are you good to go at 100%? In case of Gelson Martins, if he's at 90%, he's still good to go. So you got to go all out against Barcelona. You got to go all out against Porto, without any doubt.
See, I was thinking about resting players, but now you said that the thing that both at home, because I didn't know that. I thought one was away.
Mm-hmm.
But it's leading me to think that maybe we should go all out, because I'm not sure if you've seen the next 2 weeks for that game. First it's against Barcelona, then we've got Porto, then Juventus, and then Chaves away. And so that was obviously a very, very hard schedule, and obviously some rotation will be needed, maybe in the Juventus game, or maybe even the Chaves game. Chaves aren't doing that well at the moment, so it makes sense to maybe rotate against them. But that being said, if I do think we should rest just one player, it sounds stupid, but I think Fabio Coentrão needs to be rested against Barcelona. I still don't think he's 100% fit yet. He played a decent amount today. I think he just came off in the last 10 minutes, but if there's something there, if there's something worrying, I don't think we should risk it personally. And maybe Gelson as well. I feel if Gelson, like you said, if Gelson's injured, even if he is injured, I feel like he'll still want to play. So if we're going to rest someone, I hope we do rest Fabio Coentrão. And if the worry about the Barcelona game, I feel like we'll play at a very high tempo, which obviously means more running, more aggressiveness. So I just hope we don't get any injuries, and I hope everyone plays their full ability. So we can even be have a Barcelona. This one is from Danny S. Who was the better signing, Bruno Fernandes or Rodrigo Battaglia? One scores goals and the other one is improved on midfield. Steph, your thoughts?
Well, that's actually a very good question.
Mm-hmm.
And he's one of our followers and one of our fans. He's always tweeting us on our account, and I would say both are really good signings. They both provide what we need at a different level. So Battaglia excellent, excellent, excellent. They both really great. So for me, both signings were crucial and good signings. So again, two thumbs up for the scouting department, two thumbs up for Jorge Jesus for giving the okay, and I'm very content with these two signings.
Yeah, I can't give a straight answer to that question because I feel like they're both important in their own way. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
Bruno Fernandes is a great goal scorer, but Taglia is also a great defender and a feel well. And I think both of them have really good passing ability as well. But because I really don't think one's better than the other. I don't think one's more important than the other as well. I think without Battaglia or someone of Battaglia's uh, ability, that Bruno Fernandes will also struggle because we saw that today. Bruno Fernandes only scored when Battaglia was on the pitch. So for me, I'm just going to say they're both as good as each other.
Mm-hmm.
Next question, again, comes from Pereira4785, and he asks, who do you want to see start for Sporting who is currently on the bench? Well, whose place would you replace him with? And if you don't mind, I'll go with this one first.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
For me, currently, I want to see what Doumbia can do behind Bastost, and I feel that he should take Alan Ruiz's space. We'll get into the match ratings in a minute, but I'll just say Alan Ruiz has not impressed me the last couple of games he's played. And whereas Doumbia has been in great form and he sat in the bench for the whole 90 minutes, which was a bit ridiculous. But for me, it's Doumbia for Alan Ruiz. Steph, what are your opinions?
Well, I didn't like the change, but I do understand why Jorge Jesus did it. Um, so he basically dropped Bruno Fernandes to position number 8, and then he gave Alan Ruiz as the supporting cast for Bas Dost. Um, I was skeptical about it, but like you said, we have to start managing the team because we have important Champions League games coming along, and not only that, next week we start with the League Cup at Taça da Liga, and the first game is on Wednesday against Marítimo. Even though I know for sure they'll start with the B team, or they'll give it chances to like Matheus Oliveira, uh, Yuri Medeiros to play the full 90 minutes, or André Pinto. Those players that they haven't been playing a whole lot, they'll be given the chance to play in the Taça da Liga. But I agree with you. But I think Doumbia, it's like a
Well, okay then. That's cut Steph's answer a bit short. But I think he was going to say that Doumbia is more of a striker than a centre forward, which maybe he would say replace Dost with Doumbia. But obviously, I can't read Steph's mind. But for now, I'll just move on to the next question until Steph comes back. And Steph is back and he's gone again. Okay, Steph. Steph, your mic's muted. Steph. Okay, Steph is again.
I'm
Oh,
here.
there you go. Okay, cool.
Okay.
So what were you saying? You got up to the bit where you said Doumbia. You said you agree with me, but then you said but Doumbia.
I said I agree with you. I'd like to see Doumbia and Bastos together once and for all.
Okay, fair enough. I was completely off with my guess then. But okay, so we both agree with Seydou Doumbia for Ana Ruiz.
Mm-hmm.
And the final question as well comes from Pereira4785 again. And he says, what do you think is the worst part of Sporting's game?
Well, it's the today was not the case, but it's the very last 10 minutes of the game. It looks like we lose focus because we think we have the victory in our pocket. But besides that, we've been very consistent in defense, midfield, and offense. And then the last 10 minutes, it was the case with the Olympiacos, with Feirense. with Studio, we kind of lose the focus. But today was not the case. So it means that whatever Jorge Jesus told the players, it worked out today. So I like what I saw today. We won 2-0, which is a huge improvement. Every time we don't suffer any goals, that's two thumbs up. So great job by the coaching staff.
I agree with you, but I'm also going to go for a different answer just to keep things interesting. I'm going to go. I feel like we could improve our crossing. I feel Bastos hasn't been getting the service he got last season, and I feel like that's really affecting Bastos in a way.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I'm just going to say crossing. While I do agree with you, the last not this game, but the last three, we've been very sloppy the last 10 minutes. But I think George Jesus must have said something today to the players to make them more aware and more tactically aware of what was happening on the pitch at the time, so we don't concede any stupid goals that we did.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the end of the questions. Like I said, if you want to send us any more, just tweet us and we'll answer them in the next podcast. But for now, we'll go on to the review of today's 2-0 game against Tondela, in which Bruno Fernandes and Jeremy Mateu scored. The lineup is as followed: Rui Patricio, Cristiano Pacini, El Patron Sebastian Coates, Jeremy Mateu, Fabio Coentrao. Then we go on to William Carvalho, Bruno Fernandes, Alan Ruiz, Marcos Acuna, Yuri Medeiros, and Bas Dost. Bruno Cesar came in for Fabio Coentrao. Batman, Rodrigo Bataglia came in for Alan Ruiz, and Yuri came off for Gelson. So, Steph, what do you think of the game?
The game was a very good performance by the whole team. I like what I saw. Finally, we didn't concede any goals. We were consistent in defense, midfield, and offense. Playing against a team like Tondela, playing low block, that's all we're going to see all year long in Portugal. But we handled it pretty good. First half was very tough, but Mathieu, in a direct kick, he scored an amazing goal at minute 12. And then in the second half, Bruno Fernandes again with another amazing goal at 72nd second. He scored the 2-0. But by no means Tondela created any opportunities. I never had the feeling of, oh my God, they're gonna score it. Oh my God, we're in trouble. I was comfortable today. I was watching the game with my son and in the basement, sitting on the couch, and it gave me the sense of we got this game. It's not a problem, and that was the case. So it was not like the Estoril or Feirense or Olympiacos game. In the last minutes, we were shaking. Today was not the case at all. We handled it pretty good, and I was very content with the change of attitude. You could see the players more focused towards the end, and we won 2-0. It could have been 3-0, but no more than that. Tondela played pretty good, but they didn't create, I don't think, one chance of goal. And I was very content. In a positive note was we had 42,400 fans at the Stadio Alvalade, and one of them was the best player of the whole world, Cristiano Ronaldo. So that was a good feeling.
Yeah, it was. And I was just asking you a quick question. Since Ronaldo was there, do you think you can see him ever returning to Sporting in a playing capacity?
Oh, that's a dream come true. I'm hoping for that, and I'm pretty sure that Benfiquistas, Portistas, fans from Braga, Vitória, Guimarães, Setúbal, the whole Portugal, including, of course, Madeira and Açores, they're all hoping for that. Imagine having a Ronaldo playing in Liga NOS. Every stadium, every time Sporting at home or away, every stadium would be in full capacity. I just hope he does, at least just for 1 year, because that would be such a treat for the, I'm not going to say only Sportingistas, but for all the Portuguese people, because they deserve that kind of treat, and I hope he does it. So I don't know. It's not up to me. It's not up to you. It's up to him. So he has enough money. You could actually do it. But I understand if he doesn't, because at this point in time in Real Madrid, he's beating all kinds of records, and that's priority for him. But if he would do it, I would love it. I would fly to Portugal from the United States, and I would watch a couple games with Cristiano Ronaldo with that sporting green and white stripes.
Yeah, and I think it would not only would it attract more people to watch the league. I think it would make the league also a hell of a lot of money just in like TV sales and shirt sales. Trust me, if he comes back, that is literally a shirt I'm getting with his name on the back. I don't even care. Even if he's there for 1 year and he plays awful, which probably wouldn't happen, I would still get his jersey and just a player of that magnitude. But anyway, let's go back onto the Tondela game. And for me, I feel like I agree with everything you said. Tondela really didn't create a chance, and I believe that was all down to William. He was an absolute tank today.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Again, I thought we were awful at crossing. Crossing should have and could have been better. Cristiano Piccini, for me, just annoys me that he can't deliver a perfect cross. And Yuri as well. Every cross he made seemed to go either too far or too short. And I think Bastos did suffer a bit from that. That was the only thing I wished more of, that Bastos got more service. But that being said, what a goal by Jeremy Mateu. I know you love him, Steph, and I love him too. But what an absolute fantastic acquisition George Jesus got. Like you said, thumbs up to George Jesus, 2 thumbs up to George Jesus and the scouting department. Bruno Fernandes as well, another 2 big thumbs up. Another goal. That's 6 goals in 6 games for Bruno Fernandes. He just can't underestimate his impact to the team. If only we had him last year, we would have been set. I think anyway. But like I just said, 80 million euros is an absolute steal for a guy of his quality. Thank you, Sampdoria, for giving us such a great player, such a cheap price. I bet you miss him now. I just wanted to get on to your thoughts about Ricardo Costa. I'm not sure if you saw when he was getting a bit aggressive towards Bruno Fernandes and a lot of the sporting team. If there was one point where he fouls Bruno Fernandes, where someone fouled Bruno Fernandes and Ricardo Costa need him in the back, and I thought it was just a bit of a stupid move, and the ref didn't give him a card. He only got a yellow card towards the end of the game, which was like the 90th minute. So, what did you think of Ricardo Costa's actions?
I feel the same way. It was unacceptable for someone that has played for the national team, has played for the top team, one of the top teams of Portugal, being Porto, played for many top teams in Europe. I don't know why he did that, but Bruno Fernandes is a very clean player. He's not malicious. That's what I was looking for. He's not malicious whatsoever. So I don't know why Ricardo Costa was so upset. Maybe it's because he's playing for Tondela.
Maybe.
Maybe. So, besides that, what a jerk. Bruno Fernandes, he's a classy player. I never seen him being a dirty player against any of his opponents. So whatever to Costa, whatever.
Yeah, I agree with you. And there's also just one more last thing I want to get into about Tondela. So, the player known as Helder Tavares was gave away. I think it says the tweet I've got here says 6 fouls, but I think he gave away 2 more, maybe 1 more. So let's just say 7 fouls, and he did get a single yellow card. What do you think of that? I think personally, it's just outrageous decision for the referee. I think there should be a limit if you get to maybe 3 fouls, or maybe push it even to 4, that they should automatically get a yellow card. So, what do you think?
Well, I feel the same way, and I don't want to say much about it because the same way you said it, I feel the same way, and that's the end of it.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, going into the match ratings now. If you haven't been hit on this podcast before, basically we just go through the entire starting 11 and the subs, and we give them a rating out of 10. And let's start. Rui Patricio, Steph, rating out of 10.
Rui Patricio was. I'm going to give him an 8. Very solid. Uh, very good in his position. So a solid 8. There's nothing much to say because he didn't have much to do anyway. So an 8.
Yeah, I'm going to give him an 8 as well. Like you said, there were literally no chances created by Tondela, but when he was called upon, he did his job well. Didn't concede any goals. So, yeah, a solid 8 from me as well. I'll start with Cristiano Piccini, and I'm going to give him a 6. I feel that he's not very good offensively. He's someone we need crossing into the box, like I've said many of times. And even his first touch, I think, is appalling as well. So for me, Piccini gets a 6. What does Piccini get for you, Steph?
He'll get a 7. Defensively, it was good. Offensively, like you said, he needs to improve with his crosses. So a 7.
Okay. El Patron, Sebastian Coates. Steph, Coates out of 10.
Okay, so I'll give him an 8. Very solid. Like you said, o patrão. I'm going to say in Portuguese, el patrón is in Spanish.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, my man Coates, he brings.
Okay, there you go, Steph again. I apologize for this. I'm not sure what's actually happening, but while I wait for Steph to come back, I'll talk about Coates. I feel like he was, like I said, El Patron. He's a fantastic player, fantastic defender. The amount of tackles. There's Steph. Steph,
I'm here.
do you want to repeat what you said about Coates?
So Coates, I'm going to give him an 8. Very solid. Gives confidence to Rui Patricio. Gives confidence to the midfield. An 8.
Okay. I gave him an 8 as well. Like I said, the Patron. You said the Patron. But for me, there was not much he could have done better. He made some very important interceptions. Didn't receive a yellow card. His passing was decent too. He was good in the air. So for me, I'm going to give an 8 for Coates. And now on to your favourite player, Jeremy Mateu. We're going to give Jeremy Mateu out of 10.
I'm going to give him a 10, of course. He scored a goal. The first goal, that's the icebreaker. Defensively, he was very consistent. You could see all the experience he brings from Barcelona. Great player. The chemistry between him and Coates is amazing. So both of them complement each other. And that goal was just amazing. So I can foresee Jeremy Mathieu finishing the season with at least, I would say, 8 goals.
Yeah, that free kick was absolutely fantastic, especially coming from a centre-back. Like, you wouldn't see that from even a midfielder or an attacker, but from a centre-back, he's just phenomenal. And like you said, he was very good defensively as well. Didn't concede any goals, didn't pick up any cards. So for me, I'm going to... I'll give him a 9 because I want to give my 10 a big 10 to someone else.
And by the way, the last time we had such a great center back with direct kicks was, do you know which one?
No, enlighten me.
No? Okay. Brazilian. No? Okay. For our followers in Portuguese, André Cruz. André Cruz was phenomenal with direct kicks.
I was going to guess Sanderson Polga, but that would have been wrong. So
I think he was okay too, but André Cruz was amazing.
yeah, I've heard of André Cruz as well. I've seen some of his goals that the Sporting Instagram account puts up. On to Fabio Contra. I'll start this one off. I'll give Fabio a solid 7, coming back off a little bit of an injury. I didn't expect that much of him, but he was very good offensively and defensively. He did get around the pitch well as well. Some good passing also. I feel like given a bit more time, that he could really establish himself into a fantastic centre-back and one that can last 90 minutes. But obviously that's not him yet. But for me, I'll give him a 7. Steph, what are you going to give Fabio Cointreau?
The same thing as 7. And I love the consistency he brings to the left wing. You could see that him and Acuna, they have an outstanding relationship, and Sporting benefits from it. And again, I did bring this up to the Three Tugas podcast, which I was the commentator, the Sportingese commentator, Mike Casoil couldn't do it, and I said it. Um, it has to last the 90 minutes. That he's not fit for 90 minutes yet, but that's what I'm hoping for because I'm pretty sure Jorge Jesus would love to use that sub for something else instead of putting Brun Cesar all the time. So, especially now that we're going to have a busy schedule with the Champions League, we have we have Moreirense coming up. I mean, Maritim first, then Moreirense, then we have Barcelona on the 27th. So then Porto, then we have a busy schedule. So Fábio Coentrão needs to really get fit to last the 90 minutes. So Jorge Jesus could use that sub for another sector of the team. And but I love Fábio Coentrão because he's so consistent. When he plays, he gives us Sportingista so much security on the left wing. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I'd agree with that too. Okay, on to my man of the match, William Carvalho. I'm going to give him a 10. That's because literally nothing went through him today. He was an absolute brick wall. He was a tank. He's everything that's just fantastic and big. So William Carvalho, a 10, didn't misplace a single tackle, in my opinion. Every pass went to who it was supposed to be. And for the people who are saying, oh, William Carvalho's going to come back and play unhappy, if he's playing like that unhappy, I want to see him play when he's happy because otherwise he must be absolutely fantastic when he's happy because if he's supposedly playing unhappy, he's been a man of the match in this game. He's been fantastic the last few games. There's nothing more you can say. He's in my opinion, the best midfielder in Liga NOS. Steph, rating out of 10 for William.
Well, he was my second option because I was paying attention to him. And he brings such balance. He connects the defense with midfield and the offense. And today it was just amazing. And I'm going to give him a 9. And but like you said, he hasn't changed with that West Ham transfer bullshit. By the way, Sporting met with his agent, which is Guardiola's brother. And with his father. So it was William Carvalho, his agent, his father, Assad to Sporting, which of course includes Bruno Carvalho, and everyone is on the same page. So Bruno Carvalho told Sporting, I'm here with all my heart and soul. I'm going to give it 100% to Sporting. And that's a good feeling being a Sportingista. So I love William Carvalho. Today, a solid 9. He played amazingly.
Yeah, what a fantastic player we've got.
Mm-hmm.
Now on to Bruno Fernandes, the wonder kid. Steph, what would you give Bruno Fernandes a rating out of 10?
Bruno Fernandes, what an amazing player. And again, grazie Sampdoria. I'm going to give him a 9. An amazing goal. He worked really hard today. He missed a couple passes. You can be perfect every game. You can produce at 100% every game. But again, he was very solid. Playing number 8 and playing number 9, it's different positions. As number 8, you have to be much more concerned with defensively. And when you play number 9, you kind of more focus in assisting Bastos or scoring goals. So that's a big difference. So and you saw the difference when they made the subs, when they put him back to Nasty Bastos, when Alan Ruiz was subbed. So a solid 9 to Bruno Fernandes. And again, what an amazing goal. He doesn't know how to score easy goals. What the. So hands down to Bruno Fernandes. And again, thank you so much, Sampdoria.
Yeah, I agree. A 9. Not only did he score an absolutely fantastic goal, he also won the free kick, which led to the Jeremy Mateu goal. And like you said, as a number 8, I don't like Bruno Fernandes there, but behind the striker, there's I don't think there's anyone better in that position. A 9, a great goal, and a fantastic acquisition for €8 million. So good work, Sporting, and like Steph said, grazie, Sampdoria. On to my worst player of the team of the match today, the weak link of the match, and that was Alan Ruiz. I'm going to give him a 4. He was terrible again today. Passes went nowhere. He was lazy. There was one player, I remember, he literally passed it into to the Tondela player, and he blamed, I think it might have been Bruno Fernandes for not running fast enough, which was just absolutely stupid. But Alan Ruiz, I don't think he should be stopped. He should be dropped. He shouldn't be playing instead of Bruno Fernandes and Battaglia. I understand the rotation and the resting, but for me, Alan Ruiz just doesn't deserve a place in this team. Steph, what are you going to give Alan Ruiz rating out of 10?
I'm going to completely disagree with you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good. Okay. I'm going to completely disagree with you. I'm going to give him a 7. And the reason why, and I'll tell you why. You gave your reasons. I'm going to give my reasons. Okay.
Yeah.
So the reason why I saw him playing like touch and play, not complicating, not holding the ball, being more a team player than the games before. Does he need improvement? Yes, of course. He's not the player that we've seen from the last quarter of 2017 of the last Liga NOS. But so he's been. What I'm trying to say is he's been improving little by little. But today I saw a better Alan Ruiz. Can we see better? Yes, of course. Of course we can, because I've seen better in the past. But I'm gonna give him a 7.
Okay, fair enough. But I think the reason, like you said as well, as soon as Bruno Fernandes came into the centre forward behind the striker, that we played so much better than we did when Alan Ruiz was there. So that's why I also gave him a 4. And just like you said, Alan Ruiz needs to improve. Next player, Marcos Acuna. Steph, what do you give Acuna out of 10?
Marcos Acuna, I'm gonna give him an 8. He's one of those players that you don't notice, but he does all the dirty laundry. He's grinding, and he does all the dirty work for everybody else. So he stops all the potential offensive plays, like today from Tondela. So, and we need that. It reminds me of a Frasco from Porto. Those players that you don't even notice it. So, or Matic, now he plays in Manchester United. They do all the dirty work, and that's our guy. And I'm gonna give him a 9. I would like to see more from him, but we can expect much more for him when he does all the dirty work that nobody's willing to do, and he's willing to do it. So a 9 for him. I'm very, very, very happy with him. He got called again for the national team. So congrats to Acuna. He deserves the best in the whole world.
I'm going to give him an 8. I agree with all the reasons you said. The only thing I would say against him was the crossing, but I've said that again so many times. So maybe the cross could be better. But like you said, he's doing amazingly. He caught up to the Argentinian national team, and we all know how stacked that Argentinian national team is. So it's not like he's always going to be easy to get into that team. So good work for Acuna. I was going to say something else. Oh, did you see the play where he nutmegged that Tondela defender and got the foul? That was just fantastic. I remember I literally said, because I was watching the game with my dad and my brother, who also Sporting fans, and I said, "I'll watch. Acuna's going to lose the ball here," and then he did that, and Oh, fantastic play. Such a fantastic player we've got as well. I'm surprised no other big teams around Europe were scouting him just for how good he is. So I'm going to give Acuna an 8. On to Yuri Medeiros. And I'll start this one off. I'll give him a 6. I feel like he could have played better today, but he didn't play all that badly. So like I can't say that he was the worst player on the team, but I still think he could have done more. He could have, like I keep saying, that his crosses were some of the worst in the game. It was either too low or too high or too far or too short. There was no like right cross for him. So for me, I'm going to give Yuri a 6. I hope he can improve. I hope he gets more chances as well because I like seeing him in the team starting because I think he needs starts to progress. So yeah, a 6 for Yuri. Steph, what are you going to give Yuri?
The same thing, a 6. I was expecting more from him, but at the same time, I understand his performance because he hasn't played a whole lot. So uh, he played enough to earn a 6, but he could do much better. Um, I don't want to say. I'm going to say it, but I don't want to say it, but I'm going to say it. I, I don't want to say he's a player that is good enough for Boavista or Guimarães, but when you play for Sporting or Benfica or Porto, it's a different ball game. The pressure is much higher, so you need to perform a lot better. So I'm just hoping that he could handle the pressure of playing for a big team like Sporting, because what's going to happen is either you produce or you're going to end up in a Braga Guimarães, which is not bad. I mean, Braga and Guimarães, it's good teams, but you'll never make that jump. So you have to be able to handle the pressure to play in a big team like Sporting, Porto, and Benfica, to maybe one day to play for Real Madrid, Manchester United, Juventus. So it's up to him to prove me wrong. To when he's put on the spot to perform to show what he's got. And today he didn't show it to me.
Yeah, I do think though he reminds me of a bit of a charisma type in the Euros. That I think he's better coming off the bench than starting. So maybe that we'll see him come off the bench more instead of starting actual games. But with the long season, we're in a lot of competitions this year. We have more games, so he does need to. He will get more starts, and I hope he will impress us. On to the final player in the starting 11, Bastos. Steph, what would you give Bastos out of 10?
You know what? I'm gonna let you go first because he's your favorite player.
You're gonna say something bad. I take it.
Exactly.
Yeah. In all fairness, yeah, I'll give him. I'm gonna have to give him a 5. I really don't want to, but it's gotta have to be. I feel like he did misplace many passes. There was this one play where it was a 3-on-2, and instead of just running straight and going for goal, he cut in and passed it to Yuri, and I feel like he just should have just carried on running and shoot. But for some reason, he decided to cut in and pass, which really pissed me off. But like I said, he didn't get a lot of service today, which I think also meant that he was gonna get a lower rating than I would like to give him. What confused me the most, that Dumbia against Olympiacos, 1 goal, 1 assist. He's in a great form. Why was he dropped for this game? I love Bastos as much as the next Sporting fan, but if someone is playing so well, why are they not being rewarded for their form? And I think Dumbia should have started today. But sorry, Bass, but I'm gonna have to give you a 5. Steph, what are you gonna give Bastos?
So I'm gonna give Bastos a 7.
Oh God, that wasn't that bad.
Even knowing that, I don't totally blame him. I totally understand. Jogador da área, a typical striker like him, he's like a Jardel. He's like a Nene
a
or
target man.
yeah, or Jourdan, Manuel Fernandes, or Jonas. So a player like that needs to, we need to feed him the ball, and today was not the case. Like you said before, and you've said it many times. I mean, it's only our fourth podcast, but before that, we've had many conversations
Yeah.
from Footy podcast, and Piccini doesn't know how to cross. He doesn't. He needs to improve. So let's give him a few more games, and I hope he only needs a few more games. And Fabio Contran does a better job. But again, and I'm going to say it again, the teams, the coaches, they do know Bastos better, so they mark him better. So it's up to him to find the open space. But I believe he's gonna score again 34 goals like he did last year. But and he needs to find that open space. But again, they need to find him when he finds the open space.
Yeah, I agree with that. And yeah, like you said, teams know how to mark him better.
Mm-hmm.
But I still don't think that's the case. I don't want to blame the other team because the other teammates, but I feel like Bastos as well. He could have, like I said, the chance he was through. He knows as a top striker that he should just go for himself. That it was 3-on-2, and that he could have literally just run straight and shot. I know he's not the fastest of players, but he still could have made that. So yeah, I hope to see better from Bastos. Maybe next game should be a Dumbia start, but for now, Bastos I think needs to step it up a bit if he wants to continue to be in the starting 11. Because last year we couldn't drop Bastos because who are we going to put in? Castaños. Even if Bastos had a really poor game, there was no one else to put in. But now we've got Dumbia coming off the bench, so Bastos has got more pressure on him now to succeed. Maybe that is also a reason why he's not doing as well. But so he needs to know that he can be replaced by Dumbia at any moment. So just hopefully he steps up. Now on to the substitutes, and I'll start with Batman Rodrigo Battaglia. Steph, what would you give the Batman?
Oh, Bataglia, as soon as he came in, you could see the difference. He brings much more confidence and security to the midfield. Uh, but I do understand why he didn't start. I mean, Jorge Jesus needs to manage the team. He needs to rotate the team. You don't want to burn out the players. But what a difference. I mean, as soon as Bataglia came in, my man controlled the midfield. He gave much more security, confidence to the defense and the offense. I'm going to give him a 10 coming off the bench. Not for the whole game, but coming off the bench.
I'll give him an 8 for that exact reason. That he did change the game when he came on. He allowed Bruno Fernandes to go more forwards, but he also stayed back on the defensive end. And I think Battaglia, I said it last podcast, and I also said it on the PT Footy podcast, that he's the most underrated signing of any club. I feel like at first, like I've said, he was he's like like what you said about Yuri Medeiros. He's good for Boavista, and Battaglia was good for Chaves, but is he a sporting caliber player? And honestly, I think he is. I honestly think that he could be a player that could break into the Argentinian national team midfield also. So
Mm-hmm.
Bataglia has just been fantastic, and I hope he continues.
I agree with you.
Next one, I'll start the next rating, and it's actually Gelson coming on for Yuri. And I was honestly really disappointed with Gelson in this game. I know he came off the bench, but I still feel like he could have done better. I'm going to give him a 5 as well. He does, like I said last week, he always just tries to do too much. He ends up being dispossessed when he should be passing, when he should be crossing. But I just think he's trying to get more on the highlight reel than he is trying to benefit the team. So for me, Gelson gets a 5 just because of just the amount of times he lost the ball, the amount of almost selfishness that came from some of his plays were just unacceptable, I think. So, Steph, what are you going to give Gelson?
Again, I'm going to disagree with you. I'm going to give him a 7. I think Justin Martinez, as soon as he came in, he put Tondela's defense in the back burn. They were much more concerned. Um, the left wing of Tondela uh, didn't even try to go forward. Um, they were too preoccupied in marking uh, Gelson Martins, and he had some amazing plays. You could see the difference, the quality he brought to the team on the pitch as soon as he substituted Yuri Medeiros. I know what you're saying, but uh, the way Justin Martinez is built is to dribble and to hold the ball. And I thought he did a great job, and I'm going to give my man Justin Martinez a 7, which, by the way, I predict to be sold by next year by 80 million euros.
Maybe. I hope. I don't hope he leaves, but if he does leave, I hope it's for that amount. There is one play that you say that he did play well, and I just remembered it. It was where he flicked the ball over Ricardo Costa, and he went past another defender to get a foul. That was a great play, I must say. But I know what you're saying about that he's built that the dribbling, but there is some situations where I think it was 1 point Bruno Fernandes, or it might have been Bataglia, was wide open. There was literally no man because the other man came to double team Gelson Martins. That Gelson Martins should just passed it along a bit. He tried to do a step over and he just got dispossessed.
Mm-hmm.
So just I want to see just a bit more passing added to Gelson's game as well. And finally, this one you can't really judge because he was only in for about 10 minutes. But Bruno Cesar came off with Cohen Trowell, and I'll give Bruno Cesar. I'll just give him a standard 6. Like I said, he didn't do much, but when he did go forward, I remember the one play him going forward. He did end up being this. He didn't displace. He just misplaced the pass, but it was still a fantastic run. So I'm just going to give Bruno Cesar a standard 6. What are you going to give him, Steph?
Well, for those 10 minutes, just for those 10 minutes, you can judge him for 90 minutes because he only played for 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give him an 8 just because as soon as Sir Fabio Cointreau left, he didn't impact the defense. He was very consistent. And like you said, he went straight to an offensive mode, and a solid 8 to Brun Cesar for those 10 minutes.
Yeah, okay, that's fair enough. So that is all I think we have for the Tondela game. Steph, did you catch any of the flash interviews? Did you just see what they said, or did you not?
Yeah. Actually, I did because I posted them on Twitter. We have one more question, and I'm gonna ask it to you. It's from our good friend Teixeira, Richard Teixeira.
Good old Rich.
Yeah. So here's the question: surprise, Justin didn't start. Amazing goals by Sporting. Bruno Fernandes, amazing player. I wish Porto had bought him. Viva. He said Porto, but I'm going to change it to Sporting.
Thanks for the question, Rich. And I can't say I was very surprised, but I did expect him not to play as much minutes. I expected him to start, but I expected him to come off near half time because in the Olympiacos game he did look a bit tired, and he did come off in the end for Bruno Cesar. So was I surprised to see him start a bit? Should he have started? I don't think so. I think Yuri should have started. But that being said, Gelson, I think, was nothing more than him being rested. I don't think he's injured or anything. I think George Jesus just decided to rest him. So, yeah.
Okay. And then the second question was Bruno Fernandes, amazing player. I wish Porto had signed him.
I wish Porto didn't sign him, and I'm glad they didn't. I'm glad that he is a sporting player.
Exactly. About Gelson Martins, he actually had a mild groin injury, so that's why he didn't play today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
that makes sense.
Yeah, so there it is.
Okay, who do we have in next? Next game, you said it's against Maritimo, right?
Yeah, it's Maritimo, and it's for the League Cup, Taça da Liga. So I foresee the game being like the B team. Well, a combination of the B team and the players that haven't been playing a whole lot.
Is it home or away again?
It's home.
Okay, so just to give a prediction for the lineup as well, like you said, I think we'll be playing the B team. I want Romain Salin to start. I want to see what he can bring, because
Mm-hmm.
obviously he was a
Mm-hmm.
great Ligue 1 goalkeeper, and also was in the League One for French League One last season. Another player who I hope plays under the Pinto. I liked him when he was at Braga. I feel like he can do a good job as a sub rotation player. I expect to also see Ristovski, another player who I really want to see start. Ristovski, I hope he can start and show what he's made of. Anyone else who I think Yuri will start again, and probably who who would play in the left wing? Is Podence fully fit yet?
Yes, he is.
Okay, then I expect to see Podence as well. I expect to see a fully rotated team, maybe with the exception of maybe Rodrigo Battaglia. I think he might play. But other than that, I do expect to see the B team. And I'm also going to go. Maritimo are not to be doubted, not to be messed with. I feel like they're a very good team, and playing a B team might lead to repercussions. So I'm gonna go with the 1-1 draw. I don't see us winning if we play a reserve team, but I hope. That being said, I hope we do win, but I just don't see it happening. What's your prediction for the game, Steph?
Well, I feel the same way. I think the goalie should be Salim, and then in defense we should play Andre Martins and Tobias and
Andre
uh,
Martins or Andre
yeah,
Pinto?
and yeah, you're right, Andre Pinto. I know. I'm saying Andre Martins because he recently gave an interview for Olympiacos. Uh,
Okay.
Andre Pinto and so Witowski, Andre Pinto, Tobias, and Jonathan Silva for the defense. And then in the midfield, I would give it a chance to Bruno Cesar, Matheus Oliveira,
Oh
and
yeah, I forgot about him
yeah,
actually.
yeah, Petrovic and Palhinha. And then as a striker, I would give it a chance to Alan Ruiz. He needs more rhythm, and Gelson Dalla. So that would be my team against Marítimo because they do need the minutes, and I wouldn't even bother the B team because they're struggling themselves. And I'll talk about it in a second.
Okay, so score predictions about of the Maritimo game. What do you think?
Well, knowing Marítimo, they know they have no shot of winning the Portuguese Championship. They know they have no shot of winning the Portuguese Cup. So they'll play with the A team. So, like you said, I'm gonna give it a 1-1 or 2-2.
Okay, so we both went for a draw. Not
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing we both want Sporting to win, but we just
Of
don't see it
course,
happening. Yeah,
I'm hoping they win. Of course.
yeah. So hopefully we get the win on Tuesday. But now on to actually, Steph, did you want to do? You had the idea of the ups and the highs and lows. Even do you want to
Yeah,
get into that now, or do you want
yeah,
to do the?
yeah.
What
We could do it now. The ups and downs.
Okay.
So the ups for me would be Sporting winning six um, 6 games in a row in the Liga NOS. I believe the last time it was done was 1993-94. So it's been a while. So congrats to our Sporting. And like Jesus says, it's not how we start, it's how we finish it. So let's hope we have a happy ending. And then the low for me, it's going to be the VAR because the VAR, for some odd reason, when it comes to Benfica games at home, it never works. They have two sets of rules that they when it's for to benefit Benfica, they will look at the players, but when it's to benefit to look at the players in question against other teams, they never talked about it. And this was brought up by my good friend Bruno and Michael Casoilo at Three Tugas. which I listen to them every week, and I love their podcast. They have a great product. Of course, my favorite being Sporting 160 in conjunction with Three Tugas. But the VAR when for some reason when it's at home for Benfica, it never functioned properly. So a big down for that.
Okay, so my high would just be obviously the 6 from 6, but for me, it's being the only undefeated team in Portugal across all competitions. Because obviously Porto lost against Besiktas, Benfica lost against CSKA, and then obviously today they lost against Bovista. So yeah, that's my high, being undefeated. We have conceded a few goals, but as long as we counter with our goals, then we're fine. And my low as well, I'm gonna have to agree with you. Just the VAR doesn't work for some teams and others. And I know we don't like talking about Benfica, but I think it needs to be said that for some teams, it's obviously Benfica. It obviously always will be in their favour, like it was against the last game. Oh, who did they play? Who did they play?
Portimonense.
Yeah, that was
Portimonense.
it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they didn't use it for the penalty, which I don't believe was a penalty, but they used it for the Portimonense even goal. So yeah, I think VAR needs to be fixed. And like Steph said, shout out to 3-2. I haven't listened to it yet. I'll probably listen to it tonight. But we did get that high and low thing from them. So shout out. I love listening to 3-2. Like Steph said, Mikey is my favourite, obviously, Sportingista. But I like everyone else as well. Very, very level-headed, very enthusiastic guys as well. So shout out to them. Also shout out to PT Footy Podcast as well. 2 Portuguese kids. So just those great podcasts. If you are just a fan of Portuguese teams in general, not just sporting, I'd recommend listening to them as well. On to my favourite part of the show, and that is the Sporting Universe Roundup. So, what have you, Steph? Steph.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, you're just looking for your notes, yeah?
No, I'm good. Okay. So now it's your favorite part of the show?
Yep, my favorite part. Everyone's favorite part of the show.
Okay, good. So Sporting having 54 different teams could be a challenge. So what we try to do is recap all the scores of all of our different teams that we have. So by the way, I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
Okay. It's a tricky question, and I know you're going to hate me. So, how many teams do we have playing in a international level?
Can you give me a clue? Like a little bit of a clue?
Yes, the clue was on Twitter, but I'll give it to you again. Is it 5, 6, 7, or 8?
I'm gonna go with 8.
It is 8, actually.
Yeah.
Was that a guess?
Maybe.
Okay, good. It's 8 teams actually, and that came up when I did a little Twitter, and then people were actually confused, believe it or not. But yeah, we have 8 teams in the playing in the at the international level. So let's go over the Sporting Universe. So on the 13th of September, which was a Wednesday, in the handball, Sporting played one of the toughest opponents we have. So in handball, we have 3 tough opponents, which is ABC from Braga, Benfica, our rival from Lisbon, and then Football Club Porto from Porto. So at home, we tied 27-27 to ABC. Okay. So people understand ABC is a really good team in Portugal. Okay. So then on the 16th of September, our B team, we lost 4-2 to Académica de Coimbra.
Well, that isn't helpful. I'm gonna have to wait for Steph to get back, to be honest. But I don't know why it's happening. We will sort it out next week. I think it's just Google Hangouts today has been a bit of a bitch, but I'll try and invite Steph back quickly, see if he joins back, which hopefully he would, because obviously this is his part of the segment. I haven't got any notes on this, but if not, if he doesn't join soon, then we do have a bit of a problem. So just give me a second. Okay, I've invited him back, so hopefully he does join. Sorry about this. There's literally nothing I can do about it. It's just must be Steph's connection to either me or Google Hangouts. But we will try to stop this problem. Obviously, it's a big technical difficulty. Nothing much we both can do. It's out of either of our hands. So I'll just chuck him a message his way just to let him know that he has been disconnected. But just give me a second. If not, I'm gonna have to end it there. But gotta try my best. Again, I've said it many times, but if you want to follow us on Twitter at SCP Updates EN, if you want to follow me on Twitter at Sam Fonseca, at Sam FONSECAA. If I can think of any other, I'll Steph on Twitter at StephTechShader1. If you want to follow us on YouTube, Sporting Updates UK/US or YouTube channel. If you want to follow us on SoundCloud, exactly the same, SCP Updates UK/US, and I believe on iTunes as well, exactly the same. Please subscribe on all three of those things, even if you listen to it on one, but it just helps the numbers. And give us a like on YouTube as well. Tweet out the podcast. We really want to hear feedback from you as well. So if you do have a problem wrong with the podcast, you want to let us know. That's fine. We want to improve for you. We want to improve every day. We want to make sure that we obviously please every single member of the sporting universe. So yeah, I don't think Steph is joining back. I think he has had a bit of technical difficulty. It's going to be awkward now because I guarantee I'll try to end it and he'll join. But anyway, thank you all for tuning in. As always, I've been your host, Sam Fonseca. I've had Steph Tech with me for a little while. Like I said, follow us on Twitter, SoundCloud, iTunes. If you want us to put it on any other social media websites as well, social media, like media websites as well, just let us know. If you want it on Podbean, we'll put it there. Anywhere else, Google, what's it called, playlist, Android podcasts, just let us know. We want feedback from you. Oh, there's Steph, just as I'm about to end it. There you go, Steph. Are you back? Your mic is muted. Okay. Looks like Steph is not back.
Is it
Oh, there
muted?
you go.
Okay.
Yeah, it's back now. Okay.
Was it muted for the whole time?
You just left. It kicked you out. You weren't here.
Until when?
You got up to the under 20. No, the B team against Academica Divisé.
Are you kidding me?
I literally lost you. I was about to wrap it up just then, but you joined back as soon as I was about to finish.
Okay. So did I go over the futsal team?
The last one you got up to was the versus Academica Divisé.
Academic de Coimbra.
Coimbra, yes. My apologies.
Okay, so we lost against Coimbra de Coimbra 4-2. and then that's a combination of the U19 and new players. So give it some time. Then futsal, we won 3-1, a game away against Fundão. So we're still in the first place. U19 juniors, we won in Seixal Benfica by 2-0. So that was a great victory. Some of those players that played in the junior team today do play in the B team, and that's why they lost so badly against Academica, because we didn't see the consistency. Then tomorrow, up and coming, we have the Iniciados U15 in the fourth round against Sequeirense, against Sporting, a game away at 9 o'clock in the morning. That's a tough game. In that group, Sequeirense, they have a well structured team. And then in the fourth round, Juvenis U17, Sporting Naval Primeiro de Maio, we play 11 o'clock in the morning. Handball away, Champions League. This is a big game. We have Besiktas Mogas against Sporting, the first game of the group at 1500. All this Portuguese time. Then on the 19th, we have a Taça da Liga, the League Cup, Sporting Marítimo at 20:15 or 8:15 p.m., which would be an interesting game to see how they behave. And then, last but not least, on the 20th of September, we have Aroca, a game away for Sporting B team at 1700, 5 p.m. And then we have, last but not least, the handball team playing in Funchal, Madeira against Madeira at 1900. So people know when we play at home, besides Liga NOS, most likely all the games will be on Sporting TV. For the handball team, when we play at home, it most likely will be on Sporting TV, but also check when we play away on handball TV. So if you Google handball, type it the Portuguese way, ANDEBOL, handball, and then space TV. And then the games will be playing online. So if you're interested, which I urge you to be interested. And by the way, our female team, they're doing excellent. They're in first place. And kudos to Carlin Baldwin.
Yeah, follow her on Twitter. She follows us on Twitter as well. Do you remember her at Steph? So you could just tell everyone to follow her.
Okay, give me a second, but you can talk about.
I put you on the spot there. I apologize.
No, that's cool. Talk about something else until I get her.
Yeah, I'm just say thank you for the roundup. Obviously, Sporting is a massive club, not just in terms of football, in terms of other sports. And I know a lot of you are very interested in the other sports as well. So, and like I said before, Steph joined back. If you have any feedback regarding the podcast, you have any negatives, any positives, anything you would like us to work on, let us know on Twitter. You can either DM us, or you can just tweet it to us straight. Like I said, you want to follow us on Twitter, it's at SCP Updates EN, or if you want to talk to just one of us, it's at Sam Fonseca, FONSECAA, or at Steph Teixeira1. Have you got it yet, Steph?
Yes, I do. So if you do want to follow Caroline Baldwin, she's our professional player in the A squad list for the ladies. Her Twitter account is at Caroline, which is CARLYN _ Baldwin, BALDWIN. So she's an amazing player. She plays in the same position as William Carvalho. I've been watching quite a few games from the ladies team. Not only her, but you could see Ana Capera, Solange Carvalhas. They've been playing real well. Support our female team. They deserve it. And that's it.
Okay. So that is all we have time for the podcast. I apologize that Steph kept disconnected. I'm sure it won't happen again. But I'm sure Steph is very upset about that as well. Like I said, any negatives, let us know on Twitter. Any positives, let us know on Twitter. What we aim to please you guys. What you guys want to see, we want to do. So just let us know what you want. If you want us on more music or podcast platforms, just let us know and we'll get to it. But this episode should be on SoundCloud and iTunes very quickly. I'll just do that after the show. Thank you for tuning in again. Follow us on Twitter at SCP Updates EN at Sam Fonseca, and at Steph Tech Shader. Thank you all for tuning in. Good night. Have a great rest of the weekend.